Back again, another video to put on my journal. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a bit tired. I had a really good couple of days over in Palmy doing the Halloween stuff, getting all done up with makeup, scaring a lot of people. We got a lot of really cool comments. We even had one lady stop us on the side of the street saying we should actually charge for photos. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, not bad. But that was really good. So we're back over in Dannyburg now, and I'm just going to put this up because as you all know from a few of my Facebook posts, we've had a rent increase. Compared to some, it's not a lot, but it's going to make a huge big difference on my gas and to get me in and out of work. So we had to do a lot of thinking about what we want to do. This is me and my daughter, how we're going to work this. And then my girlfriend over in Palmerston popped in, and she was saying she's looking to get another boarder in. And of course, we all just went, timing is everything. What she said could not have come at a better time for us. And this is also going to be a better time for her as well, because this is going to help her out as well. So I'm absolutely stoked. It took a while for my daughter to sort of get used to the idea of living with a bunch of people again, because the fact is that the house that we've got now, even though we do like it, there's three things that should have been fixed a year ago. And even though I've asked and asked and asked the property manager to get them fixed, her response is that she's emailed the owner and they've got no response at all. So it makes me believe that, as far as we are concerned, the owner of this rental property doesn't really give a shit about us, doesn't care. They only want the money. That's it. So my gripe these days, or for the last few weeks basically, is greedy landlords. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that I know that are landlords, that are really good landlords. But there's a lot of landlords out there that are real shitty ones. See, and I'm not going to talk about tenants because we all know that there's good tenants and bad tenants, so I'm not even going to go down that track. But I'm a little bit gutted. Like the letter that we come through to say that they're going to increase the rent, put a reason down is the owner's expenses increased over the last 12 months. And I thought, really? And what about our expenses? You know, we're still in a level 1 lockdown here. You know, it's got to stop. It's got to stop. You know, and for all your landlords out there, if you get the chance to see this, please don't just put your rent up just because you can. You know, think about your tenants that are working their asses off, trying to maybe even just to keep going, not even get ahead, because there's no way you're going to get ahead in a rental situation. That's it. Get it. You're just existing. You know, but with all the lockdowns that we've had, and I know New Zealand's had a lot more sweater than the rest of the world, but this is still really hard for us. You know, so I'm just going to wipe my nose. It's just got to stop. You know, and I've been hearing all these stories, and I've been told this personally. You know, some of the rents have gone up so much since the government's rental increase lockdown stopped. It's just dumb. It's just pure, outright greed. That's all it is. It's outright greed. Because the way that I see it, if you've got a rental property, you've got a rental property to make money. That's it. That's the bottom line. There's no other reason for you to have a rental property. If you've got a property that you are renting out, you are doing that to make money. You're either doing it to make money in the short term, or you're doing it to make money in the long term. Either way, the bottom line is that if you've got a rental property, you're making money out of it. If you're not making money out of it, why the hell have you got it in the first place? Okay? For long-term investment, then you've got to go with the gives and takes. But the problem is that you get good tenants. You know, you need to look after them. It's it's a two-way street. To me, anyway, it's always been a two-way street. You know, if you've got a good tenant, for goodness sake, look after them, and they'll stay. If you've got a good tenant and you treat them like shit, they're going to do this to you. Or better still, they're going to do that to you. And go, get stuffed. We're out of here. Which is basically what we've done. You know, and like we've only been here for just over 12 months, and we didn't really want to leave because we do actually like the place. We just wanted 3 things fixed, and then as soon as that bloody restriction come off from our wonderful Prime Minister again, I thought, here we go, you watch. I'm pretty sure just about every landlord on the New Zealand has got on the bandwagon and increased their rent. You know, didn't they stop to think once about not what's going to be in their pocket or in their bank account? Did they ever stop to think, if they're going to do a rent increase right now, how is it going to affect the people living in your place? Do you landlords even think about that? You know, or are you worried about we need the rent next week. She hasn't paid the rent. Well, they need to pay the rent. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, we can't do any repairs until you paid the rent. I heard someone say that a while ago. And it's like, sorry, honey, you know, if you were living in this place, these things would be fixed. I can tell you right now, if you own this particular place or any other rental property and you were living in it, something went wrong, something broke, you would fix it. Straight away. Or your next payday. You wouldn't leave it for 12 bloody months. You know, you wouldn't just ignore the property manager's emails and not even bother to respond to them. I am so disgusted with this. This has disgusted me to the max. Because after all my daughter and I have been through, we don't need any more of this crap. We just don't need any more of this crap. So this is for people that are landlords. If you've got a good tenant, for God's sake, look after them. Okay? Talk to them. Communicate. Okay? You know, the way I sort of think, and this is my own personal belief system here, is that if you've got a rental property, you don't increase the rent until the tenant moves out. And then you increase the rent. Okay? That's it. And if your tenant stays for 5 or 6 years, and if they're a good tenant, and if they look after the house, the lawns are all done, there's no rubbish, you know, look after them. But these landlords seem very few far between right now. So anyway, we got this letter, and we looked at each other and just cringed. We just thought, you've got to be kidding me. It was the last straw in a long line of many. And our first reaction was, now what are we going to do? But anyway, thanks to a good friend of mine, who's mentioned it, and we've discussed it and organised, you know, what we're going to pay and all this sort of jazz and how it's going to work. And I actually think this will work out really well. I think it's going to work out really good for both of us. I know what we're going to pay her in rent is going to help her out tremendously. And I know what we're going to be paying in rent is going to help us out tremendously. So the bonus for me especially is that I won't have a 2.5 hour, 2 hours, 20-minute round trip to get to work. So my gas bill is going to reduce so much. Okay, my wear and tear on my car is just going to drop off. And the thing is that if my car breaks down, I can actually ring one of my workmates and say, please, pretty please, can you come pick me up? You know? And I'll return the favour because we're going to be in Palmerston. So we sort of did the Halloween thing the other day. That was really cool. Got all dolled up, did all the face paint. And we sort of walked around town a bit, and it was just like, there's so much more scope for us. There's so much more scope for my daughter. You know, and the other thing that we're sort of stoked about, and I know this is going to gut people over here, or a couple of people over here that we sort of know really well, is that there's jiu-jitsu in Palmerston. So instead of us looking at going over the track, okay, which is a 2 hour round trip to start up jiu-jitsu again, and my daughter gets car sick every time. Every time we go to the track, she gets car sick. So instead of doing that, we can actually seriously look at starting up jiu-jitsu again in Palmerston. Which I'm so looking forward to. It was so much fun over here, and it was a real bugger that the lockdown happened and that it all got squashed. So we're really looking forward to that. How can I say this? I'm not looking forward to packing. As everybody that has to move a house is just looking at it going, I've got to move all this stuff up. But the one good thing is that we don't actually have a lot of stuff up here. Most of my stuff is still in storage. So that's a bonus. And I found somewhere to store my caravan. That's another bonus. So I'm stoked about that. And I've organised for a bloke to come and tow it for me, and that's another bonus. So that's all sorted out. So now I've just got to hand in my notice tomorrow, and I'm going to tell them the reasons why. I'm not going to be politically correct. They're going to have all on letter that I'm not happy with the rent increase, especially after all the crap that's gone on this year. I'm not happy with the fact that the three things we really needed to get fixed, have never been fixed. They've just been ignored. I'm not happy about that, because the way that I see it and what I found out the other day is that according to New Zealand law, this rental property is illegal because of the two things that have to be done, to make this property legal, have been ignored for 12 months. Excuse me. I'm just going to pause this for a minute. Sorry, just had to have a bit of a drink. So yeah, and the property manager is going to get told that too, that according to New Zealand law now, this rental is illegal. Absolutely illegal. Not to mention, one of the things that we really wanted fixed is a health and safety issue. So it's like, we're out of here. I'm not going to put up with this for another 12 months. Don't care. We're gone. We are so gone, it's not funny. And my thoughts are out there for, hold on a minute. As I was saying, I'll recap. My thoughts are out there right now for every tenant that's got a property, rental increase coming up that you can't afford. One suggestion I would look at doing is maybe look at doing what my friend and I are doing. We're actually joining forces in a house. I know it's going to be awkward with there's heaps of other people around because my daughter and I use our own space and that. But we can live with that. You adjust to those sorts of things. So maybe it's time for families, if you can, to actually join forces. And I really think the government needs to, especially Jacinda Ardern, needs to get on top of this. This rent increase is just absolutely off the wall. And Labor's always supposed to be for the us workers. Well then, be for us workers. No rent increases. That's it. All the rent. Why doesn't the government get off its ass and say all the rent increases that have happened are squashed? That's it. There should be no rent increases on a property until the tenant leaves. Then you can increase the rent. And as I say, I'm not going to get into the argument of good tenant, bad tenant, good landlord, bad landlord. I'm not even going to go down that track. We're all aware of that. We're all aware of that side of things. What pisses me off the max is that because of this COVID-19, people have lost jobs, people have died, people have got sick, people have been put into extreme hardship. And people are still in extreme hardship. And what pisses me off the most is that now that no rent increase for 12 months has come off, people are going to be in more hardship. So how is that helping everybody? Come on, Prime Minister, come to the party here. How is that actually helping people? Oh, you can get help from working income. No, you can't. If you're earning too much, forget it, girl. You're not going to get any help from anybody. And the thing that really annoyed me the most was that I heard a speech of hers a little while ago now, and the gist of it was, well, at least there's only one increase now coming in the next 12 months. Thank you very much, you bitch. How about a bloody cow to say something like that? Oh, well, at least you've only got one increase coming in the next 12 months. Up yours, you can get stuffed as far as I'm concerned. I don't care how good a rosy your PR team are making you look. That's disgusting. That's one of the most horrible things you can say to people. Well, at least you've only got one increase in the next 12 months. Face palm. Really? How insulting. Not to mention patronising. And when I heard her say that, and as I say, this was said a while ago, I looked at her and thought, jeepers lady, if you'd have said that to my face, I would have given you a few bloody home truths about, the people that are on their bones in their ass, they're struggling just to get going. And don't even talk to me about the mental health available that's out there, okay? I've already done a little video about that with my daughter. So there's no way. So I'm highly disgusted with landlords right now that have increased the rents. I really am. I'm absolutely disgusted with you. And the thing that gets to me is that if I ever have a landlord come up to me and go, oh, blah, 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 I've got this rental property, or I've got half a dozen rental properties, I'm going to look them in the face and say, do you look after your tenants? Do you increase the rent? Or do you keep the rent the same? Do you help them out? If you've got a firewood, do you give them a load of firewood every winter or something? Do you give them a food voucher, grocery voucher, Christmas time? Goes a long way, okay? It's those little wee things that make a huge big difference. And between your tenant and your landlord. And it should be a two-way street. You should be communicating. You shouldn't have to do what we've done and gone, oh, stuff you, we're out of here. Stick it up your ass. You can stick this rental up your ass. We're not paying that bloody rental increase. Get stuffed. And I know that, people are struggling to pay it because people have got nowhere else to go. I understand that. I do get that. But the thing is that we've been so close to being out on the street a few times now. It's not funny. And I can see why people are doing it. I can see why people are getting really, really, there just seems to be no way out. And as I say, if you can't get any help from working income, you're screwed. If you don't have a good credit record, you're screwed. Okay? So what are you going to do? Are you going to stay in a high rental? Or are you going to join forces with maybe another family? It might be cramped. Yes, definitely. Okay? It might be not what you're expecting. Definitely. But if your two of you actually communicate, talk about how you want it to work, okay, talk about things that maybe bug you to the max, and see if you can get around that, and of course, if your landlord lets you have another family in there to help you out. And most landlords won't. Most landlords will go, nah, you're only allowed this many people in the house. If you have any more, I'm going to up your rent. I have no faith in landlords anymore. None. Zip. Nadia. And unfortunately, I don't have enough deposit to buy my own home. Okay? Don't get me started on the 5% one. I've already spoken to a mortgage broker about that. And you have to be as white as pure snow for the government to get that. Because what the government hasn't said about that 5% deposit, house deposit, is there's that many restrictions on it. Okay? And if you don't want to believe me, ring up a mortgage broker and ask them. And they will tell you. Okay? If you're paying off a debt, a loan, HP, a bill, get it. You're not even going to get looked at. When you've got 5% deposit or not. Okay? Go check it out. It's all out there. So as far as I'm concerned right now, with this government, I'm not happy with this government, with what this government's done. And then again, I can't actually say what any other party would have done either, because you don't know until they're in. So who knows what they would have done. And you can surmise as much as you want to, but the bottom line is, you don't know what they would have done. You can guesswork it, but until they're actually in there, you don't know what they would have done. Oh, excuse my fingernail, this is the leftover from Halloween. So anyway, we are out of this place, which is really, really sad. Sad for us, because we actually thought we found a place that we can actually settle down in. And actually, we're just starting to feel like home. Was just starting to feel like home. But this whole year has been one of chopping and changing, going with the flow, arguing the point, standing your ground, being at loggerheads, and then just walking away. So anyway, I wish you all the best. And as I say, this is just my thoughts, my feelings, and but I have no respect for landlords anymore now. Honestly, I don't. You know, I think you're all a bunch of greedy assholes, especially if you've increased the rent on your tenants. And I don't care what your excuses are. There's no need to do that. There is absolutely no need to do that at all. None. Nadia. And the only reason why you've done it is to make money. And for those landlords that suddenly find themselves without a tenant in their property,